This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 332, Baby Makes 8, Raising 6 Kids, Part 1, by Babauta of Zen Habits.net. And I am Dan, your host and narrator for this podcast, which covers personal finance, investing, and really all things money. And we're here each Monday through Friday, giving you this great content for free. Today's post is from someone we, of course, have had on the show before, Babauta of ZenHabits.net. And if you like this post from Leo, you should check out our newest podcast in the OLD podcast family, and that would be Optimal Living Daily Relationships, where Joss reads part 2 in episode 22 of her show because it has to do with family life. I will be reading part 1, which covers the money advice. But before we get into it, we have a brand new sponsor for this show, Health IQ. Now, Health IQ uses science and data to secure special rates on life insurance for health-conscious people. You can learn more and get a free quote at healthiq.com/finance. That's healthiq.com/finance. But for now, let's get right to today's post from Leo Babauta as we optimize your life. Baby Makes 8, Raising 6 Kids, Part 1. By Leo Babauta of ZenHabits.net. Last March, my wife gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Noelle Casey. She became our 6th kid, and within the space of a few years, our house had suddenly become very full. A little background is in order. My wife and I came together 6 years ago with 2 children each from previous relationships. And after we got married in 2003, we had a son, Seth Isaiah, in 2004, and now Noelle in 2006. We each went from having 2 kids to having 6 within 3 years. Raising so many kids at once has, of course, been a financial challenge, as well as a scheduling and organizational challenge. It's also been an amazing blessing, and I'm planning to do a series of posts on what it's like to raise so many kids, and some of my best parenting tips. This is the first of the series, and it will deal with finances. The finances of raising 6 kids. When my son was born in 2004, my wife and I made the decision that she should stay home to take care of him. When my daughter was born in 2006, we decided she should continue to stay home. It was an important decision, and we are both very glad we made it. She's the best caretaker by far for our 2 babies, and she's been able to breastfeed and do all kinds of other stuff that only a mom could do. Of course, it's also harder for us financially, but it's worth the sacrifices in my opinion. We've cut out a number of expenses to be able to live on my salary. And the decision has forced us to learn to live frugally. We actually struggled for a while, but I believe we're hitting our stride now. I've also been working as a freelance writer on the side to give us some extra income on top of my regular salary. Here are the keys to being able to survive with 6 kids with only one spouse working. Live frugally. Living on one salary, plus freelance pay, requires sacrifices. It means you can't eat out as much or go to the movies as much. We have only one car. We cut out cable. It becomes a sort of lifestyle after a while, but it's certainly difficult at first. Increase your income. While you may only have one salary, there are many other ways to make money on the side, from working part-time to freelancing to consulting to selling Avon to babysitting. Any extra income helps a lot. Pay off debts and avoid further debts. We had a little problem with debts accumulating, especially when we weren't making enough money to pay our bills, but we've reformed our ways, canceled our credit card, and are now slowly paying off our bills one by one. Once we're done, we'll have a lot of extra money to save. Build an emergency fund. It's tough, but it is crucial that you save money each payday, no matter how small the amount. If you can't figure out how to do this, cut out some smaller expenses, trim others, cancel cable or Netflix or your gym membership or something. Find a way to save. It's the most important part of your finances, especially the part where you build an emergency fund. You should build it up to at least $1,000 because at any moment, your car might break down or your kid might need to go to the hospital or any other kind of emergency could happen and leave you not only without the necessary funds, but figuring out which bills you can pay later so you can pay for the emergency. If you have savings, you can pay for these emergencies more easily. Budget. I know it's a dreaded thing for many people, but it doesn't have to be hard. Simply list out your regular monthly expenses like utilities, rent, car, cell phone, internet, etc., along with variable expenses like groceries, gas, and eating out, and other irregular expenses that might not come up every month but that you know you'll need sometime, like car repairs, home maintenance, gifts, medical, etc., broken down as a monthly expense. List your income. Your income should be more than your expenses. If not, trim some expenses. Automate your finances. For all my bills, I have them either automatically deducted, like my car payment and phone, or have a regular online check going out to them each month. The only things not paid online are the things I need cash for, like gas and groceries. The envelope system. For everything that you can't automate online, withdraw the cash each payday instead of using ATMs and incurring fees for those expenses and put them in separate envelopes. I have 3: groceries, gas, and spending, everything from eating out to kids' school stuff. When the money runs out in that envelope, you can't spend any more until next payday. It's a simple way to keep track of how much you have left, instead of guesstimating and withdrawing too much or charging too much. Find free ways to have fun with your kids. While we are making sacrifices, and our kids have to make sacrifices too, that doesn't mean we can't have a great time with them. We plan a family day every Sunday when we all do stuff together that we love doing, like reading, watching movies, we usually rent DVDs to save money, playing sports, going to a park, playing board games, going to the beach, visiting family, or doing a lot of other free or cheap stuff. Fun doesn't have to cost a lot. Plan ahead. If you know someone's birthday's coming up, plan for it so you're not scrambling to find money to buy a gift. Same thing with school expenses like field trip money or school photos. Our kids are also involved in sports, so we have to plan for uniforms and cleats and more. Think ahead for what you'll need so you're not broke when that expense comes up. Treat your family once in a while. While lots of fun things are free, sometimes you gotta splurge. Take the kids out to a movie or a restaurant. Our favorite splurge is going to a water park. Recently, we ran into a few $100 extra, and instead of being responsible and paying off more debt or saving it, we rented a room at a hotel with a great water park and spent 2 days there having a blast with the kids. Other times, we'll just treat them to ice cream cones or something. You just listened to the post titled Baby Makes 8, Raising 6 Kids, Part 1, by Babauta of Zen Habits.net. And don't forget, if you want to hear Part 2 of this post being narrated to you for free, come check out our newest podcast, which is Optimal Living Daily Relationships, where Joss reads Part 2 in episode 22 of that show. And big thanks again to Health IQ for being the sponsor for today's episode. Do you exercise 5 times a week? Then you deserve lower rates on life insurance. Health IQ uses science and data to secure special rates on life insurance for health-conscious people, including avid cyclists, runners, strength trainers, and more. They even have special policies for vegans. Research shows that if you frequently exercise with intensity, you have 22% lower cancer risk, a 56% lower heart disease risk, and up to 34% lower risk of early death. But historically, life insurance companies penalize you for family history, BMI, and other attributes, yet you don't get rewarded for being active and health conscious. And that's where Health IQ is different. Health IQ will reward you with special rates on life insurance, and you can learn more and get a free quote using our link, healthiq.com/finance. That's healthiq.com/finance. And that's going to do it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow with more from the greatest finance blogs out there. I'll see you there, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Finance Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.